Hello gin lovers and welcome back to No Nonsense Gin Reviews with me, Bobby Freeman. Now then, cast your eyes upon this behemoth to my left hand side, for let me introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Brooklyn Gin. Now before we go any further, let's just appreciate the beauty of that bottle. That is a piece of art. It's a piece of very heavy art, actually. I feel like I should be doing dumbbell curls with it instead. It's just absolutely extraordinary. So top marks for the bottle straight away, Brooklyn Gin people. So this one was actually recommended to me by one of my subscribers who goes by another brilliant name. All my subscribers seem to have extraordinary names. This was recommended by the Flying Nihilist. Nihilist or Nihilist? Hang on a second.
Nihilist.
The Nihilist, the Flying Nihilist. Now I wasn't sure what a nihilist was, so I looked it up on Google, and apparently a nihilist is a person who believes that life is meaningless and rejects all religious and moral principles. Well, this person may reject all religious and moral principles, but they know where to come to watch a bloody good gin review. Here. Now this gin, as the name suggests, hails from New York in America. Now we don't get that many American gins over here now, but they are starting to find their way across the pond. Obviously we've got the old friend Aviation over there. So I'm imagining this to be kind of in the same vein as that. So let's have a quick look at what they say on their website, shall we? Now, as you know, I always like to do the accent from where the gin is from. However, I'm not brilliant at New York. I haven't quite got it down yet. So I'm just going to do it in my sort of general American sort of TV presenter. So here we go. Brooklyn Gin is a craft spirit made in New York with fresh citrus peels and hand-cracked juniper. It's good enough to drink on its own, and we're proud of that. Now then, whatever they suggest drinking on its own, I always try and adhere to that. So we will be trying it neat later on as well. By hand-cutting the citrus fruit and releasing the essential oils in the juniper berries, we make a more vibrant gin than the distillers who use frozen or dried citrus peels. Unlike mass-produced factory gins, we do everything by hand. I like the sound of that because there's nothing I like less than a mass-produced factory gin. It takes more time and effort, but we believe that you can taste it from your very first sip. We craft and bottle our Brooklyn Gin at the Warwick Valley Winery and Distillery in Warwick, New York. So they don't actually distill it in Brooklyn, but to be honest, it's in New York, so that's close enough for me. I don't really care. Bombay Sapphire is not distilled in Bombay, it's distilled in Basingstoke. So I don't think I'm going to give the Brooklyn people a hard time just because it's not distilled in Brooklyn. Right, let's stop talking and reading about it and let's get stuck in, shall we? Now, straight away, we've got good news because there is a cork in there, so we know what that means. It's the cork test. So, here we go. Get my microphone. First of all, does it have a squeak? No squeak at all. It feels a bit weird, actually. A slight grinding of the glass, but no, that's just sort of metal on glass. We don't like that. That's not the squeak I'm looking for. Never mind. Let's go for the pull. Ooh, a nice healthy pull. I wasn't expecting that. It was a very confident sort of, yes, pull me, I shall impress the masses. Are you not entertained? I keep sort of slipping into Hollywood movies recently. I did Gandalf the other week. This week I did Russell Crowe from Gladiator. But you know what? That's the kind of guy I am. So straight away, that cork weighs a ton. That's like solid metal. It looks like copper or something. So I like that. The packaging makes it feel super, super high quality. Obviously it doesn't make a difference to the gin, but as I said before, there's so many gins out there. You need to stand out when you're on that shelf. And this screams quality and I love it. And I tell you what, as I am talking to you now, the wafting aromas are slithering out of the bottle and just gliding seductively up the old nasal passages. And they smell nice. Let me go in for a bit of a closer smell. Oh, very often, the sniffing is by the by. I say it's quite pretentious and all that, but very often you just get sort of standard gin smells and so kind of nothing. But this smells special, and special in a good way, not in a bad way. It does remind me a little bit of the American Aviation American gin, and it probably would do because they've got the similar sort of botanicals from the sound of it, and it is an American gin, but I would say that this is a bit heavier on the citrus notes, and there's something in there, something that's kind of, how do I describe it? It's kind of thick and sort of viscous, a little sort of a heady, thick sort of aroma, which I can't quite place, but it's definitely there, and you know that there's something different going on. I think that's the most I've ever talked about the smell of a gin before. So let's crack on and get it in the old glass, shall we? God, I almost need two hands. Right, here we go. Oh, oh my God, it's a terrible pour. It's gone all over the place. Bloody hell. Never mind. I'll clean it up later. Have I got enough in there? Yes, I think I have. So let's try it with tonic first, although I suspect this may be one which perhaps doesn't go with tonic, like the aviation doesn't particularly well go with tonic. But let's try it first of all, see how we get on. So stick some in there. About that much, I reckon. What do we think? Yeah, it's good. I could always put a bit more in, but you can't take it out. Right then. So Brooklyn Gin. Cheers. Oh! Okay, little tip. Always best to try and get it to go down the gullet rather than the directly into the lungs, because I don't appreciate gin in the lungs. However, that aside, that is... Hang on. Let me have a little... Oh! Me. I tell you what. I'm trying to avoid this gin. I tell thee what. That is absolutely bloody delicious. But it's delicious in a super powerful, confident sort of way. It is a bit like the aviation, but the flavours go deeper. I think it feels like the flavour has a huge core and a foundation down there, which is solid as rock. It's heavy on the citrus. Was it lemon or orange peel? I can't remember, but it's definitely lemony, sort of orangey area. And it's which I always say is very, very always obviously works well with the gin. You've got that. A very strong juniper, actually, more so. I think that's what I was smelling originally. Usually don't get that much juniper in the scent. I find it comes through more in the taste. But it's a heavy sort of saturated juniper, but I like it. It's not too much. It's kind of brave. It goes further than the juniper, with the juniper, the most gins do. Let me have another little go. Oh yeah, there's bags of sort of. It's got everything in abundance. Each flavour is big and punchy, and there's nothing subtle about it. It's kind of heavy and laden with flavours. You've got that sort of massive bags of juniper, and then a slightly sort of woody, barky, nutty kind of element to it as well, which gives it a lovely sort of mid foundation. But then this beautiful sort of sharp smash of citrus in there, and wow, as well to sort of finish up those layers. And blimey, I was worried. The bottle promised so much. It looked so cool. I thought it was all going to come to nothing and perhaps be anticlimax. But I tell you what, I would order that any day of the week. It's definitely different to the London dry gins. You will know that straight away. But it bloody well works. That is absolutely lovely. Now then, it did say, let me chuck that over there. It did say it can be enjoyed neat. So I don't do this very often, as you know. Oh, bloody hell. One thing I say about the bottle, it doesn't pour very well, or maybe it's my pouring technique. Although I am quite versed, you could say I probably should be pretty good at pouring by now. Anyway, never mind. So let's give it a go neat, shall we? So here we go, take two. Brooklyn Gin Neat. I'm going in. Whoa, that smell is amplified when it's in the glass. That is something else. That really is something else. Right. Oh, good Lord, if I thought the flavours were punchy when it was with the tonic. That is like a knockout uppercut from Mike Tyson, but a pleasant one, a gin-laden uppercut. That sounds like a name for a band, doesn't it? It's very, very nice, and again, huge, just gigantic oodles of juniper. Shitloads of juniper in there, just absolutely massive. I think the juniper comes through more when it's neat than it does with the tonic. Now, and that's very, very nice. So anyone who does like to drink it neat, God, you are in for a treat. But I actually think I preferred it with the tonic. I didn't think I was going to, but I think it works very, very well, which is kind of unusual for American gins, because American gins do kind of work very well neat. But if you love a gin tonic and you never tried American gins before, and not everyone likes aviation, try this fellow because it is awesome. I'm very glad I bought this gin. I've been toying with it for ages, and man alive, it's bloody good. Now then, I've talked this up hugely. There is one tiny downside to this gin, and that is the price, because it ain't cheap, my friends. In fact, it's expensive, the very antithesis of cheap. This will set you back around about £38, so just under £40, which is not far off $50. Now, that is a lot of money for a gin. As you know, I always say you shouldn't need to pay above £30 or $37.50 to get a good gin. However, with these smaller distilleries, I understand they do have to charge that little bit extra, maybe around between the £30 and £35 mark, to be able to make any money, because they haven't got the the resources that these huge sort of gin companies have, like your Tanqueray, your Beefeater, and your Bombay Sapphire. So they do have to charge a little bit more. However, that said, they must be doing fairly well, because they are exporting out to other parts of the world, well, certainly here to the UK. So hopefully that as they sort of grow and become sort of more worldwide, hopefully that price will come down. So if you've got a bit of spare cash in your pocket and you want to support a small gin new distillery, then you could do a lot worse than going for the good old Brooklyn. In fact, I say to you, people of the Brooklyn Gin, keep up the good work, because that is awesome and I love it. So guys, what a video that was today. I thoroughly enjoyed making this one. It was great. I hope you enjoyed watching it too. If you did enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video and press the little bell icon so you get notified when I bring my new videos out. And I shall see you all next time on No Nonsense Gin Reviews, where I will continue to be Bobby Freeman. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. That was a long salute today.